So today we're going to talk about something I think pretty much everyone has felt at some point. That feeling of being a stranger. It feels like such a modern problem, right? But what if I told you that some ancient Greek philosophers saw this feeling not as a problem, but as the actual starting point of a really profound journey? I mean, really think about it. Have you ever been in a room full of people you know, maybe even at home, and just felt completely out of place, like an outsider looking in? Well, that exact feeling is what we're going to unpack today.
And to do that, we've got to go all the way back to the beginning, to ancient Greece, where the idea of the stranger had this really unique, almost magical kind of power. Okay, so the key to this whole thing comes down to one Greek word, xenos. Now, what's fascinating about xenos is that it has this incredible double meaning. On one hand, it means a foreigner, an outsider, someone you don't know. But it also means an honored guest. So right away you have this tension. Is this person a threat, or are they bringing a gift? For a thinker like Plato, this wasn't even a question. The arrival of a stranger, a xenos, was a huge opportunity. You see it in his dialogues with characters like the Eleatic stranger. This person has authority precisely because they're an outsider. They aren't stuck in the local groupthink. They show up, they introduce wild new ideas, they totally destabilize what everyone thought they knew. And for Plato, that was the whole point. You couldn't have real philosophical progress without the strangers showing up to shake things up.
Now that's the stranger as an external person, right? Someone who comes to your town. But this is where the idea gets really personal. The philosophers started to ask, what if the stranger is you?
The Neoplatonists took this and just ran with it. They proposed this absolutely radical idea. Your soul, your truest self, is actually a xenos. It's a divine guest that's just, well, visiting the material world for a little while. And they used this really powerful, kind of stark metaphor. They said the body isn't who you are, it's more like a tomb, a temporary container. Your soul is in exile from its true divine home. So that weird nagging feeling that you don't quite belong here, they'd say, exactly, that's your soul remembering it's a long, long way from home.
But, and this is the big twist, this feeling of exile isn't supposed to be depressing. It's the total opposite. For them, acknowledging that inner strangeness, really feeling it, that's the essential first step on the journey back. It's the universe's wake-up call.
And they even gave this journey a kind of map. Step 1 is recognition. You realize, okay, I'm an exile here. That sparks step 2, aspiration, this deep, powerful longing to go back, to return home. And that desire is what fuels the whole journey, which is step 3, recollection, or what they called anamnesis, the process of actively remembering who you truly are and where you came from.
Okay, so let's hit pause on the ancient world and jump forward to today. How does this idea of a noble, purposeful exile stack up against our very modern feeling of alienation?
Let's be super clear. For the Platonists, the soul feels like a stranger for a very specific reason. It's been separated from a real, transcendent home. There's a destination. There's a place to get back to.
But what happens when you have that same feeling of being in exile, but you no longer believe that a home even exists to return to? That question, right there, is what really defines the modern struggle.
And this is what we now call modern alienation. Thinkers in the existentialist tradition tied it directly to the feeling of living in a universe without any built-in objective meaning, without a divine home. It's still a feeling of separation, but you're separated from what exactly? In this view, we're not just strangers in the world, we're strangers in a universe that is itself a stranger to meaning. So, how do we make sense of this? Where do we go from here? Let's, in this final section, put these two worldviews right next to each other and see what happens.
This table really lays it all out. Look at the source of the feeling. For the Platonic xenos, it's because you've forgotten a real home. For the modern alienated person, it's the absence of any home to begin with. The worldview is totally different too. The ancient one assumes there's a cosmic order we're just disconnected from. The modern one often suggests we're on our own, making up the rules in a meaningless cosmos. So of course the solutions are opposites. One is a journey of remembering. The other is a project of creating meaning from scratch.
You can really boil this whole thing down to one simple, powerful idea. The ancient stranger has just forgotten the way home. The modern stranger often believes that no home exists in the first place.
And that leads us to, I think, the most crucial takeaway. The ancient view completely reframes this feeling we all try to avoid. It suggests that feeling like a stranger isn't some psychological problem you need to cure. It's a noble symptom.
It's a spiritual compass, and it's pointing you towards a journey. It's a call to remember.
So this leaves us with a final and I think pretty challenging question. The next time you feel that deep sense of estrangement, that feeling of being an outsider in your own life, what is it? Is it a sickness you need to get rid of? Or is it a signpost pointing you toward a home you've simply forgotten? How you answer that, well, that changes everything.